Hello, guys. It is Harry Hendo back here. Not back. Well, kind of back. Just finished up the first live stream. This is the first video of the channel. Before I start in today's topic, as you probably have seen, it's a very interesting topic. I've had some fun with this one. It has been fun. But before, I would like to introduce myself. You can call me Harry. You can call me Hendo. Although there's a lot of Hendos in the MMA community. Why I put I don't know the actual definition for it. That's why I put a first name, which is Harry Hendo. I will be reacting to, I will be commenting, I will be live streaming, I will be talking to you guys. I will be reacting to MMA, wrestling, other combat sports, including boxing, bare knuckle fights, other things like karate combat, for example, other things in the combat sports world. But I gave y'all a shitty introduction. Watch the language. Potty mouth. Alright, let's get into the topic. As y'all have seen, Anthony Smith is a genius. Anthony Smith. UFC light heavyweight. Can we call him a contender at this point? I don't know. But let's get into it. How is this man a genius? How do you look or see this man as any kind of genius? Well, he is a UFC light heavyweight contender, or as better yet, as I like to call it, a UFC jobber. He is somebody who the UFC uses to further other people, to put people in better positions than where they were before they have fought Anthony the Jobber, Anthony the Genius, Anthony Cat Hart Smith. Well, why is Anthony Smith the ultimate heel jobber? Why would some people ask that? People are looking at me crazy. Why is he a heel? I can see why he's a jobber. I mean, look at his record, you know. But how's Anthony Smith the heel, man? He's a good guy. He has tattoos. He looks at the camera. He does commentary, man. He looks very nice when he's in a suit, and he talks to people very nice. He has a very calm demeanor. How could this man be a heel? Well, on paper, Anthony Smith is a man who makes a lot of excuses. If you don't know, he's somebody who, after a loss, and rarely after a win, does he ever have anything to say that doesn't disprove that he has things wrong with him that make sure to excuse him from his loss. And in a perfect world, he will not be a loser. Which I feel, it's pretty good heel psychology, man. It's not my fault I lost. It's not my fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's the world's fault. Anybody but my fault that I lost. But when I win, you bet your ass I fucking did that. You bet your ass my win is from my skill. It's y'all's fault I lost. Basically, he diverts a lot of weaknesses. He diverts a lot of his bad actions to things that would make it seem like he's a better competitor than he is. He just has a lot of lackluster skill and ability. He's a jobber. He's somebody who doesn't have a good record. He's somebody who, if put in a title fight today, people would very, 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 very much so dislike. They'd have a lot of things to say. But why? Why does Anthony Smith have an on-paper excuse that he uses? An on-paper excuse that he frequents? It's a pretty good burp right there. It's the ultimate heel excuse, man. On paper, I win every time. On paper, when you write down the qualities that me and this guy have, I am better than him. I am better than him in any and every single way. Even when I lose. Ultimate heel excuse, man. Everything has an excuse for it. And it's that excuse. On paper, I am better. What happened in the octagon is not what would happen every time on paper. Because if it's not on paper, it's not real, right? This guy gets it. And not only does he get it, he gets under people's skin, man. A lot of people have a lot of reactions. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of things to say whenever he says that his skills and the things that happen to him look better on paper than his opponents. It gets under people's skin. It gets under his opponent's skin, man. You got to think, man. You've been working hard. You think you're about to get an easy win. The UFC has set you up with Anthony Smith. And this guy tells you that he's better than you on paper. That doesn't put a fuel under you. That doesn't make you want to win. Which it should. That's what Anthony Smith wants to happen. It gets under the fan skin. Fans hate it. I mean, go to the comment section of everybody's MMA videos. On paper, Smith, this man's delusional. On paper, God, I hate Anthony Smith. On paper, really? On paper, oh. Like I said earlier, it's always a blame game after he loses, never after he wins. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Not the question I'm answering. He has a blame game after he loses, all skill after he wins. I think he's a heel jobber, paid by the UFC to be a heel jobber. I think that's what he does. Why do I think the UFC is paying him to be a jobber? Why do I feel the UFC has handpicked this role for Anthony Smith? I mean, God, can you just look at the physique on this man? Why would the UFC ever need for him to not win a fight? This man's got a lot of sketchy losses, man. He's got a lot of sketchy losses. A lot of them look fixed. Does he suck? Yeah. But a lot of these losses look like a loss that somebody who wanted to lose, somebody who knew they were going to lose, would lose. And it starts after the title fight with Jon Jones. After the UFC realizes that this person has no capacity to ever be a champion in this weight class. They realize that in order to make the money that they have put into this man, they have to do what they have to do. And what better person? Let's start off with the Glover Teixeira loss. Anthony Smith won round one. Very clear against Glover Teixeira. What happens after round one? Well, he gets the shit beat out of him. He ends up on his back in multiple different positions, getting beat up by Glover Teixeira, and he prolongs the finish until very late in the last round, I believe, or close to the end of the fight. In a fight where the finish looks very much like a lot of the finishes you see after this fight, where you will see Anthony Smith cradling up into a ball, almost ensuring that he will get and receive a TKO loss. He's making sure the refs know how to stop a TKO. What about Rakic? He let Rakic beat this man for 3 rounds, and Anthony Smith did little to stop any of it. Anytime that Anthony Smith advanced in this fight, it would be an advancement that he would later better put himself in a position for his opponent, Alexander Rakic, to better him. Alexander Rakic wins. He's a young contender who has now beat somebody who has fought for a title, who has fought contenders who has fought contenders for titles. After this period, he wins a couple fights in a row, a couple weird wins, one weird win, Jimmy Crute, huh? But he wins 3 fights in a row. Now, how is he a jobber? Hey Harry, how can he be a jobber? He won 3 fights in a row. Well, yeah, if you want to have a jobber who puts people into title fights, they have to beat some people. And let's take a look at some people he beat. Jimmy Crute, Ryan Spann. Sound like jobbers to me. Let's go to the Ankalaev fight. Well, another cradle finish from Anthony Smith gives Ankalaev perfect opportunity to have a title shot. A title shot. Young contender, interesting in a division that needs the help. Anthony Smith, please cradle. Just do what you did. Do what you did against Teixeira. Cradle up. We'll pay you. Don't worry about it. No taxes, baby. Lay down. Let's get this guy. We need to get him in a title fight. Which he did. Which Dana White later discovered he doesn't want Ankalaev in a title fight. Nothing to do with the job that Anthony Smith ended up having to do. Johnny Walker. We got to wrap this thing up, guys. YouTube doesn't let too many time on the first videos. You got Johnny Walker, man. This is a safe decision loss. He let himself lose very easy. He didn't take up too much beating. So, hey, after that fight, what happens? Johnny Walker, Ankalaev, #1 contender match. If you want somebody to have a title fight, if you want somebody to have a #1 contender match after a fight in the light heavyweight division, you put them up against no other than the jobber himself, the genius. Don't forget, Anthony Smith. Beats Ryan Spann again. Another jobber disguise. Beat the guy you already beat. Why not? You need another win. Can't keep letting these guys beat you without somebody saying something. Please get a win. Let's call the jobber's jobber. Khalil Roundtree. Not only. Please don't hit me. Cradle finish, but a backflip added to it. Hey, Anthony Smith, we need you to do a cradle finish again. We need a TKO finish, but can't do what you did against Ankalaev and Teixeira. It's getting old, brother. We need you to cradle finish with a roll, brother. Take one good hit, cradle and roll, brother. Stop, drop, and roll. You ever did a fire drill, brother? Stop, drop, and roll. Khalil Roundtree, contender win. Khalil Roundtree, not straight into a title contender match afterwards, but good contender, good young contender, fresh in a division that needs it, has a win against Anthony Smith. Who would have ever guessed it? We're getting ready to wrap this thing up. Getting ready to wrap up the first video on the Harry Hendo channel where we talk about MMA, wrestling, and combat sports. Why would Anthony Smith, what payoff does Anthony Smith get to losing all these fights? Why would he agree to the UFC to lose fights on purpose? And that answer is steady income. Steady income is what he gets from his analyst / commentary role he has in the UFC. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He doesn't have to worry about losing. He doesn't have to worry about fighting. He knows that next week he'll be on camera and he'll be making a base salary where he knows at least once a month he will have income. He will be hired by the UFC to talk. He will not have to fight for real. And whenever the UFC calls him to do a bigger job than what he is doing on a month-to-month basis in his analysis role, Anthony Smith will job for a contender in the light heavyweight division. You heard it from me. You heard it from Harry Hendo. Anybody else who comes up with this after I say it, it is what it is. They steal from the little guy, but little guy gets bigger every day, every video, every live stream. Starting out here, first one. We're going to get better, guys. We're going to get better. Camera's going to get better. Mic probably will get better. My speech will get better. Channel will get bigger. Chats will get bigger. Subscribers will get bigger. Likes will happen. Things grow. This is the seed. This is the first video. Anthony Smith is a genius. He is the puppet. UFC is the puppet master. Please go lose, brother. Nice doing business with you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.